Hello everyone, and now welcome to game 2 in the series. As Evelyn has picked up a 1-0 lead so far, how will things get underway this time around? You see Yumiko spawning as the gray human player, not Evelyn, Lynn, excuse me. Eve's Lynn. Oh, maybe Eve is his team and Lynn is the name. Never really realized that. Alright, anyways, let's take a look at what's going to be going down here. Yumiko spawning in the top right as the gray human. Meanwhile, Lynn spawning on the bottom left as the red orc. Orc versus human once more here on Ancient Isle. Now, Ancient Isles, excuse me, Amazonia, not Ancient Isle. Amazonia quite different from Ancient Isle in terms of how the game often unfolds and what can really go down. There are a lot of similarities. Both players, you do spawn directly across from your opponent in the top left, bottom right. It's just kind of mirrored or swapped, so to speak. And what you'll also notice in terms of a little bit of differences and a little bit of similarities is that the center portion here is actually much wider. There isn't as many ramps. And what we also saw in the first game is that the Blade Master would be trying to chase down a unit only to stop chasing just because it got out of sight range. Losing that little bit of sight range ended up having a traumatic difference as the unit wasn't chasing much longer. It will be an Archmage versus a Farseer this time around. So Lynn changing things up, going for a Farseer. Changing things up, going for a Farseer. And I am curious as to whether or not the Farseer will be able to come down with that harassment. Now, if you guys remembered in the previous game, Yumiko actually did not get an arcane tower early on, and we see that to be the case once more. And that is going to be a very bad play by Yumiko in just a moment. There is the purge onto a militia. Doesn't do anything whatsoever as the Farseer already running across the map. The Farseer could look to deal a lot of damage here, and are we perhaps going to see things flipped once more? Now, we can also see that Lynn did go for a very fast tech to tier 2, and you can already see how much of a difference this is going to make. We are seeing at 24, and now we also see Yumiko getting a tech to tier 2 as well. Both of these players doing this relatively quickly when you can see that they are both supply blocked at 24 over 24, or 20 over 20 here by Lynn, and this is very aggressive. I just gotta say, this is very aggressive. Oh, was it denied? Beautifully denied by Yumiko there. Very aggressive teching. Now, what does that mean? What are we gonna see? How is this all going to unfold? I'm not exactly sure. It's been quite some time since I've seen a Farseer first come in from an Orc player. Now, we could have Chain Wave, the strategy where you use Chain Lightning and Shockwave to deal a lot of damage to a whole bunch of units. Now, the problem will be that all that what needs to happen is that Yumiko would then just go into Spellbreakers, and that would shut down the early heroes early on. It is a little bit of a gamble to go for early Farseer, as the Farseer is much more of a harassment unit. Oh, beautiful denial there, resummoning those Spirit Wolves, and now the Grunt is going to be backing off. Archmage still sitting at level 1, and Lynn doing a great job making sure that Archmage doesn't get to level 2. By denying level 2, what he is ensuring is that this Archmage doesn't get additional Brilliance or a mana. That is going to cause some problems as we now see Boots of Speed have been picked up. Arcane Tower is about to be completed as we now almost get a surround on some more units here. Are we going to get a surround? No. The Footman able to slip away right there. Alright, Farseer still has plenty of mana. It looks as though the Feral Spirit Wolf is going to just try and run away once more. Those Spirit Wolves do deal a bit of damage, but both sides still sitting at level 1. Stronghold is nearing completion. There, it is now done. Are we going to be getting up a second hero, and is it going to be that Tauren Chieftain? The Farseer adds a bit of utility, but beautiful resummon again, and Yumiko's Archmage is still sitting at level 1. This is a huge difference though, and really Lynn has been doing a great job denying experience. Now, Things may all be for naught, though, as now in comes the Archmage, or the Farseer again, and this is going to be a little bit of a problem. Just shooting those orbs of lightning, or just, I guess it technically is an orb of lightning coming out from the hands of that Farseer, and that Farseer is hoping to still constantly deny experience. There you go, Yumiko picking up a Beastmaster as his second hero, but the problem is he's still sitting at level 1, so no additional experience or no additional mana is given to the Beastmaster of Yumiko. Meanwhile, on the far side, we are going into a Tauren Chieftain. That is a very, very standard play, as the Farseer is a very squishy hero, and squishy heroes generally need some sort of tanky unit to back it up. Beastmaster now making its way over as well. Archmage is nearby, trying to get off some easy shots, getting tripped up by his own footman. And now we see an Archmage with mana problems, as he is still sitting at level 1, finally going to get to level 2 as soon as he can kill something on the map. Quillbeast now backing away here. You can take a look. We are going into a Spirit Lodge, and the Spirit Walkers will be coming out pretty quickly. Meanwhile, this is your standard ensnare from Raiders, and the Archmage realizes that the window of opportunity has already closed for him to be aggressive with that Archmage and that Beastmaster. The problem, the Bestiary and the Spirit Lodge were already completed, and because they were already completed, the piercing damage is not going to do anything at all. Lin, even though he is behind in hero level, played that opening segment very, very well, and I think the longer this game goes, the worse it is going to be for Yumiko unless he does build the right army composition. It looks like he is focusing mainly on Sorceress and Priest, and that is going to be very, very effective unless the Spirit Walkers do get to tier 2, their adept training for Disenchant. Disenchant, a very, very expensive AoE, just anti-magic spell, removing any buffs or debuffs depending on who it is cast on, and also dealing damage to summon units. Alright, oh, the Farseer comes in, still sitting at level 1. Enforcer does get taken down. That gives level 2 to the Beastmaster, Belt of Giant Strength. The Farseer cannot hope to sit on this or be in this fight any longer, as the Tauren Chieftain is now sitting at level 2. There's some Spirit Link. Very good timing. Spirit Wolves now being recast once more, as we do see an Ensnare, and Yumiko going to be losing units relatively quickly here. We can see another Quillbeast is down over there. Are we going to perhaps get another Ensnare? No, only one Raider in the group, as Yumiko sits on tier 2. He is going to perhaps be getting that adept training for both the Sorceress and the Priest, and we now see a Hawk in the air. Alright, the Hawk doesn't make that much sense to me. The Hawk is generally a unit that you want to use in order to counteract the Blade Master, as it is a detector. All this is going to really do is allow a summoned Hawk in the sky to keep track of the Orc army, and that's anything an invisible summon could already do. Alright, that Hawk is just going to hide over those trees. Line of sight has been broken, and now this is going to give the opportunity for the Archmage to try and creep out an orange creep camp, as he still wants level 3. Coming back around, you'll see Kobold Taskmaster will get taken down. Tauren Chieftain, what is this? Tauren Chieftain going to get to level 3 before the Farseer gets to level 2, and this is a real flip. The Tauren Chieftain is one of those heroes that is generally a support hero, but it is much stronger as it levels up. Faster, or I guess its threat scale is actually higher than the Farseer. I am much more scared of a level 5 Tauren Chieftain, or excuse me, even a level 3 Tauren Chieftain, compared to a level 1 or a level 3 Farseer. That Tauren Chieftain is just that much stronger overall, as we now see an engagement come in. Alright, all those units are now looking to back off. All the slow was cast. Adept training on those Spirit Walkers, 450 mana. We'll see if they do go into the highest level, and then they will be able to do the it's not Ancestral Recall. You guys know the ability. The Tauren Resurrection works on every Tauren except the Tauren Chieftain. You may be wondering, who's the other Tauren? Well, the Spirit Walkers are Tauren, so you can resurrect other Spirit Walkers that way. Let's take a look at this. Enforcers will get taken down. There's a quick purge there. Tauren Chieftain still sitting at level 3. Farseer now sitting at level 2. If we may be opening up into a chain wave strategy, as we already are seeing the Rock Golem come in. And I am surprised that Yumiko has not gone for, or doesn't have that many Spellbreakers yet. He is only still sitting on one Spellbreaker, getting up another Spellbreaker in just a moment. And we are seeing more scout towers now come into play. This is going to be more for an establishment of an expansion as the Spirit Walker now making its way over. There is an ensnare down on a Spellbreaker, but the Spellbreaker is going to be very, very well protected. Spellbreaker going to be important in stealing that Spirit Link. Spirit Link also with peons means that damage will be absorbed across multiple units. There is the ensnare. What's going to be happening next as the Spellbreakers could be stealing all of this in just a second. I believe, yes, I'm not quite sure why the speed scroll was stopped there. I don't believe it was disenchanted, or could have been disenchanted or dispel magic, as we both see both sides still fighting it out. The Spirit Walkers are trying to keep the line alive, and there is a beautiful shockwave across multiple units. Farseer does still have it, as we do see another disenchant come in. The Tauren Chieftain doing a great job and dealing a lot of damage across the board. Robo Magi on him gives him a little bit more mana, which makes him even scarier. However, you can see that Raiders are going to starting to get focused down here. This is not good. This caster army, both sides has a very, very strong front line, but the front line is starting to melt away, and it is casters versus casters here as the Tauren Chieftain gets the level 4 just in time. All right, Tauren Chieftain now in the back. It does need to try to retreat. You can see that this Tauren has nowhere to run. So much slow cast across so many units, and now Yumiko is going to be getting some free experience. All right, the Sorceress just needs to finish off and get perhaps 1 or 2 more shots off onto that Spirit Walker. The Spirit Walker down to 26 hit points. That is the important unit in that group, as the Grunt is still relatively high on hit points, and is it going to be able to get away? Oh, this is oh so dangerous. That Grunt taking a lot of damage, suffering a lot, and it will finally fall over in just a moment, not giving any additional levels, but still rather important. Level 3 compared to, what is this, a level 4 level 3, and somehow the Tauren Chieftain and Farseer have caught up and surpassed in the hero levels. Archmage still looking to head around the map and do a little bit more creeping here. You can see a Quill Beast and Invisible Summons now making their way out. The Hawk is still sitting at level 1, so it does not have an attack here. And I am interested as what's going down. Perhaps if the Hawk can keep track of that army, and it allows the human army to perhaps creep out of a creep camp that it wouldn't normally be able to creep out, that would be enough of an advantage. Sorceress now being brought over, not going to be enough there, as the Spirit Wolves have seen the rest of, or at least the Sorceress of this army. And now the Beastmaster does have Scrolls of Healing. Okay, Yumiko obviously countering what he sees in the Chain Wave strategy. He wants to make sure that the Chain Wave does not absolutely destroy all of his casters in a matter of seconds, getting in Scroll of Healing to try and counteract that Chain Lightning Shockwave combination. Meanwhile, the Tauren Chieftain is still sitting at level 1, and oh, a Sentry Ward being placed down by Lyn reveals that Quill Beast, and that was a huge play there, as there is a low hit point Spirit Walker. Most likely it will get Healing Salved back up. No Healing Salve. There it goes. Finally, Healing Salve, it was purchased on the Tauren Chieftain instead, and there is now an invisible Water Elemental hiding off here. Oh, there it is, the Water Elemental pretty much revealing himself at just the right time, knowing that he is going to melt away due to that time life, and now Mud Golems and Rock Golems will be taken down. Rest of the human army now being brought over. Spellbreakers are there. Quill Beast now being invisible. So annoying to fight invisible units, as the Rock Golem trying to go for an engagement, and oh, this could be very bad here. Water Elemental is nearby. Is going to be able to steal that last shot? No, it is not. The Tauren Chieftain sitting at level 4 now. Scroll of the Beast, and now more damage being dealt still. Spirit Walkers need to get more mana. They've just constantly been trying to disenchant all of that slow, and the Sorceress have so much mana because of that Brilliance Aura. Archmage only sitting at level 3 though, not quite level 4. Once we get to level 4 on that Archmage, things will go from bad to worse for Lyn. Lyn needs to finish the fight here. He cannot allow the Sorceress to be able to freely cast all of that slow. It does not exchange very well, as the Spirit Walker's Disenchant is a rather expensive version of Dispel Magic. Alright, Farseer, Tauren Chieftain now being brought over. You can see also Scroll of the Beast is down. Another thing to take a look at is whether or not he picks up a Scroll of Protection. If a Scroll of Protection is purchased and autocast is on that steel, you can actually bait all of the mana off of these Spellbreakers rather early, and then follow it up with the more important Spirit Link. As soon as you have that Spirit Link across all of your units, it is nearly impossible to take down any unit, especially with Scrolls of Healing in combination. The difference than a normal game here, I would say, is the fact that, oh, Yumiko does have a Sentry Ward here. As we can see, a Water Elemental, was quickly spotted. It did take a bit of damage, and now backing off again. Quill Beast is still invisible, keeping track of all of the units. And what is the Beastmaster and Archmage looking to do? Level 3 versus level 3-3 versus 4-3 still. And this is a bit of a standoff. No one wants to engage the other just quite yet. Spirit Wolves actually getting in a little bit more experience as well. And that was perhaps a little bit of a luck there once more. Okay, what is this? The Tauren Chieftain now being brought over. Double Quill Beast running straight headlong into the Tauren Chieftain. Spirit Link still being cast, and we could be ready to go. Yes, there is another Sentry Ward. Do we have a troll, a Witch Doctor on the field, or is that just items? I don't see the Witch Doctor, so he's just been getting has he just been getting the items? I do believe so. All right, so yes, that is just Witch Doctors acting as detection, or sorry, Sentry Wards acting as detection and getting a fair number of them. Tauren Chieftain still sitting at 3, does have a Wand of Illusion. Farseer is now out on the field. And what is going down here? So much could be happening. There is a couple of ensnares now coming in. The Quill Beast now trying to run back. There's 3 Tauren Chieftains. And what is going down? Absorbing Dispel Magic. And they are gone in a matter of seconds. Here we go. What is happening next? So much fighting. There is the Shockwave across all of those casters, only to be neutralized in a second. And there we go. What's going to be happening next? Archmage still seeing that level 3. Both sides are still fighting out here. Spellbreakers, no real strong line as the peons are absorbing a bit. Tauren Chieftain still seeing that level 4. Could perhaps be coming in with another Shockwave. But the casters are all in the back line. Brilliantly placed. Very, very difficult for this Tauren Chieftain to get to. There is the Roar. Spellbreakers are pretty much out of mana. As you see now, Chain Lightning coming in. Tauren Chieftain sitting at 5 now. Level 3 Shockwave could turn things around if it hits those casters. You can see the Tauren Chieftain trying to make its way over. There's the Ensnare. There's that Shockwave. And you can see how much damage was dealt there just in a matter of seconds. Beastmaster still has a Scroll of Healing. All the casters realize, wait, I cannot take another one of those, as the Tauren Chieftain being brought over, trying to catch up. There's the Speed Scroll, and oh, the Speed Scroll on the Tauren Chieftain, even though it does have slow, so much mana has been lost. And what is going to be happening here? The Tauren Chieftain, there's a Shockwave going in the wrong direction, but hitting the Archmage instead. A beautiful blind invisibility, but it still gets taken down as the missile was on the way. All right. I still believe that taking down multiple sorceresses would have been a better exchange there, as the Tauren Chieftain now running low on mana, has no more left after that one there. Is the Farseer within range with the Chain Lightning? No, he is not. Trying to come back in here. He does not have enough mana for Chain Lightning at all, and the Tauren Chieftain is out of mana as well. So many low hit point sorcerers in the back. A beautiful line here. Spellbreakers in the front, trying to absorb all of this damage. You can see how much damage is being dealt. Spirit Walkers, oh, going into ethereal form just at the right time. Tauren Chieftain still recovering some mana. Spellbreakers removing the mana on that Tauren Chieftain, as the Tauren Chieftain now forced to back away, and there is a surround on a Raider. Both sides are still fighting here. Archmage most likely needs to get resurrected and is being done back at home. Sorcerers are still pressing this fight here, but they are now low on mana because of the absence of that Archmage. Archmage is the weakest link in the army. And what is happening here? Farseer now trying to get away. There's an ensnare. Spellbreakers not focusing down the Farseer for some reason. That would have been an easy target. And so much damage could have been had. There is another slow. The Spellbreakers should just be focusing down that Farseer, just keeping up with the army now as another Grunt gets taken down. Beastmaster sitting at 4. And we are both coming in here. This is a best of 5, so there is still another game at the very least between Lin and Yumiko here, and this is still coming in. All right, Spellbreakers now looking to push in here. It looks as though Lin is backing away. All of the peons now running away, as well as the Grunt low on hit point and is able to restabilize himself. All right, oh, Cloak of Shadows and Manual of Health. Those will most likely be picked up by the Beastmaster. He enjoys a good book, apparently, and could sell his Cloak of Shadows for a bit more gold. Lin getting very close on that to level 6 on that Tauren Chieftain, and reincarnation on that Tauren Chieftain would be very, very scary. Not only because of the fact that the Tauren Chieftain, you have to kill him twice in order to take him down, making him that much beefier, but the fact that he gets some mana when he resurrects. Because he gets some mana when he resurrects, he can get even more shockwaves off, and it's almost damned if you do kill him and damned if you don't, as you don't want mana on a Tauren Chieftain. That is perhaps the scariest thing, full mana on a Tauren Chieftain, and by killing him, you just make your worst nightmares come true. Tauren Chieftain sitting at level 5. Farseer now sitting at level 5. Those Spirit Wolves are now invisible unless they are attacking the Shadow Wolf. So strong, as they are now going to be chasing their way over here. All right, there is the Thunderhawk, and the Thunderhawk could have kept track of that there. I guess there is a reason to go for Hawk, as the Hawk does have an attack now. 21 to 25 damage, a way to deal damage against ethereal formed Spirit Walkers without sacrificing or making your sorceresses a bit vulnerable. What's happening here? That Thunderhawk is still wandering around the skies. Thunderhawks go. As the Thunderhawk now going to be scouting out the rest of this Orc army. We are waiting for a bit of a battle there. And the Thunderhawk has been revealed. Coming back over here, it looks as though the Beastmaster is, yes, trying to bait out all of these Granite Golems. But is it going to work? You can see that there are Spirit Wolves right here. And this is causing a bit of confusion inside Lin's army. There you go. I believe did it use Dust? No, not quite sure. And it did give level 5 to the Beastmaster, as the Beastmaster now gonna perhaps have even stronger Quill Beasts. Stronger Quill Beasts. Here's the battle. Archmage is out of position. This is not looking good for him. Already in the front. There's the Ensnare. No Potion of Invulnerability just quite yet. And is it going to be able to back off? Yes, it will. This is the weakest link. Speed Scroll now being used as the Archmage now runs into the back. This is a complete surround here, and Lin should be able to come out of this fight completely destroying, as the entire front line is gone. Meanwhile, the Farseer, surrounded. Lin gonna be losing his Farseer already. Lin, down it goes. Tauren Chieftain, however, reaches level 6. Not quite sure what the sacrifice does there, as the Beastmaster now going to be in a bit of trouble. All right, Tauren Chieftain, is it going to get off a Shockwave? No, it is not. Speed Scroll, mana. No, it just used the Healing Scroll there, and it now is still staying alive ever so barely. What's going to be happening here? The Beastmaster could get taken down. Yes, it does go down. Tauren Chieftain at 6 now, and there is the GG. Yumiko unable to take down Lin here in Game 2. Please stay tuned for Game 3.